So this is round 2, the second video for the all-new Milwaukee 12-inch double bevel compound miter saw, sliding. We already used and abused, sliced and diced in the other video. I'll put an end card for you to check that out. But today I told you I wanted to talk about all the different features that we didn't talk about on the first video. But before we get to those, let's do a quick recap. The cutting capacity on this, I'm telling you, we were cutting down through treated 4x6 like it was nada. 330 crosscuts on a 2x4 with a fully charged 12.0 battery. 2x14 horizontal capacity and a 7.5 nest crown capacity. 6 3/4 inch vertical capacity, baseboard against the fence. It has the one key technology and one hell of a light. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But I have been using this now for about 2 weeks, and this has been my go-to saw. Now, the one thing that I really like it is it's actually easy to get from location to location. A lot lighter than every other 12-inch saw that I've ever used. You're looking at about 52.5 pounds for this saw, which really isn't all that bad. So the weight for me, that was a big plus. Another huge plus for me was the dust collection system. Now, I said on the first video how much I liked it, and I will back that statement up. It catches about 75% of all the dust that comes out of this saw. The other thing we talked about was the build quality. It is almost perfect except for one thing I'll talk to you here in a bit about, and that light. It's real nice like. Extremely bright. Doesn't matter if you're out in the daylight. You can see that shadow line does a very good job. And the bevel, the left and the right, very, very easy to do. Very, very light. Some of my other heavier miter saws, they were just monsters to try to get to adjust. And this one here is just so simple to do. Now you do have the 2 stops right here, as you can see, for your bevel. They are on the left and the right hand side of the saw. Really, really simple, easy to use. You just flip it over, bring it down to your adjustment, or you can flip them both over and don't have to worry about using them at all. But me likes because, well, it's a lot faster than trying to bevel everything or set your adjustment. All you got to do is set those stops in. Well, you got your most popular bevel cuts right there. And just to show you real quick, here is the other side. So yes, again, on the left and on the right, very, very simple to use. Now, the one thing I really don't care for is your bevel lock, your release right here. It's that spinny knob, and you know, it's kind of old-fashioned to me. I really like what they did on the 10-inch saw. You could just pull that lever and then adjust it, but this one here, you got to walk behind the saw, you got to loosen it up, you got to tighten it up. I just don't care for that, so I wish they would have stuck with the pull handle because it worked excellent on the 10-inch. Now, you also have your depth stop right here, and I mean, it's alright. You know, you loosen it up, you tighten it down, you can do all that good stuff there, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, once you set your depth, you can decide whether or not you're going to use this or not, but if you do use it, it does a pretty good job. You can see here, it stops automatically, and you don't have to worry about guessing. You just set that depth, and you're good to go. Now, as for actually operating the saw, the spring action on this thing is really, really nice. You don't have to worry about pushing down too hard on this thing. It just kind of glides on you, but it comes back up really nice as well. Some people mentioned that this looks like their drill bit box. Either way, I kind of like it because it's slick. Now, here's one of the issues that I have. Now, as far as it goes with adjusting your degrees, your miter, which you can go 48 degrees left or right, just really sometimes doesn't make sense to me. If I pull that trigger down, I can move it left or right and glide it back and forth. But if I adjust that knob right there, well, I don't have to pull the trigger down and it glides back and forth. Not really sure why that's there. I mean, I guess some people would like that, but I can just pull the trigger down. And the only reason why I don't like it is because, well, this is probably the cheapest part on the saw. It just feels kind of flimsy to me. I'm not saying that it's going to break, but I just don't like that. So I'm not going to use it. As far as it goes with the sliding, well, it's amazing. Very, very smooth. Don't have to worry about any holdups. You know, you tighten it down, it stays where it needs to be. Even the bevels, very, very smooth. And you got that handle right there. If you want to lift this up, bring it to different job sites or whatever you're going to do, it actually feels pretty good. It doesn't really bounce off your legs too much. And you do have that kickstand, you know, your leveler here in the back. You know, it doesn't really adjust all that well, so, you know, it is what it is. As far as it goes with the wrench, you do got the onboard storage, which I really like, and it works for everything on this saw. Now, that brings me to one other thing. As far as it goes with the fence, love the fence. They work very, very well, but I do not like your clamp. You know, these other companies, including Milwaukee, were really getting innovative with these clamps, and then they sort of went back to this old style where you can adjust a little bit, then you gotta crank for an half an hour, and I'm not really a big fan of these types. So you basically have to loosen that up, bring your fence all the way out, and then swing it once you get it, well, brought up enough. It's just a pain. I like the style a few years ago where you just push that button on the side and then you can bring that up or bring that down and then adjust it. But another big plus is, again, that dust collector. That rubber chute right there that collects that dust does an excellent job. You just got to be careful when you're cutting bigger material. If you're trying to slide it, well, you might rip that off. So you want to come straight down with it instead of sliding it back. Now, as for the battery placement, it's fine with me. Don't have any issues with the placement, trying to take it out, put it in. And the battery, I'll tell you, I've been using this a lot, and you know, I still got 2 bars on there, but I've been making a lot of cuts, and I'm still running off the same battery. So the battery use on this, you know, it'll last you a long time. You know, a lot of people say they want that corded option with it, but it's not a big deal on a miter saw for me. Another really good job that they did was the guard. It just glides over everything. Haven't had any issue with this thing hooking up on anything. It just glides over everything. So I'm really happy with how they designed that. And again, as far as it goes with, you know, your positive stops and your build here, you know, you do have those positive stops. They're larger numbers. You can see them. They are all etched. The miter, it just glides. It's very smooth. Haven't had any issue with that at all. Again, the dust collector bag, it's really good. So, you know, out of 100%, I would give this a 90. You know, there's a couple small things that kind of irk me, but you know, I don't think that means a lot to a lot of other people. So I think they did a really good job on this saw, and I'm happy with it. We do have another full video that I'm going to put at the end of this video for you to check out. It is all the cutting action that we did with this saw, but definitely giving it 2 thumbs up. Good job, Milwaukee IA. If you like the video, please smash that like button, get subscribed, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any other tools. It'd be nice for you to come over to the Instagram page as well at Tool Review Zone. Appreciate you stopping by. We'll be back with more videos soon.